Hey, I hope you're ready for a triple buckle bomb week episode number 1. Live tonight here on Off the Top Rope, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, presented by SixPackCovers.com. Of course, this is your boy Ty Asbury, and I have a huge episode in store for you. This talented gentleman joining me on the show. He's an impressionist, comedian, voice artist, and he's also getting his start in pro wrestling announcing. The one, the only, Adam Hamway joins your boy Ty Asbury on Off the Top Rope Monday night. You got Adam Hamway in the house. You better believe, better believe. This episode will be off the hook.
Tyrone Asbury. Yo. Yeah. I need y'all to listen to me right now as I take you on this journey. Podcast journey. Only the greats can.
What's up, everybody? This is Off the Top Rope. We are live tonight, and as always, when it's Monday night, you know what's going down. Presented by SixPackCovers.com. I'm your boy Ty Asbury, and my live guest, man, Impressionist. He a public announcer for Madison Square Garden, wrestling announcer. I can't. This guy does so much. I was like, I'll be damned. I gotta have him on the show. Adam Hamway is on the ropes tonight. My man, what is up?
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for having me. This is great. I love it. Ty, let's give props to Ty. This is awesome.
Well,
I'm excited. What do you got? What do you got for me tonight?
I just want to know that first and foremost. I looked at your resume when I saw. I was like, damn, like just proud of you. I don't know how he does it. So the first question tonight, when I ask you, how do you maintain a life with your busy ass schedule?
I just work. Everybody always wants to know, like, how do I do so much? I really have no idea. One of the things that people are always mostly surprised about is the number of hours that I sleep. Usually I'm in bed by maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock every single night, and I wake up probably average. I usually 6:30 in the morning. So I get a nice chunk of sleep so I can maximize my day. And then, weekends are a mixed bag. I could be, announcing a bunch of different things, stuff either at MSG. I do also marching band, indoor percussion competitions, drum corps international competitions, sometimes stuff at, I don't know, ring announcing. I'm doing ring announcing now. So, and then voiceover work. I don't know. You just, whatever, throw it all at the wall with sticks. I'm there. Let's do it. How do I do it? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what happens. Well, I feel like, I don't know if you find this, Ty, when you drink a cup of coffee, doesn't your day go faster? I don't know. This is just a side thing. I'm sorry.
Well, for me, I don't want people booing me and I get like heel heat, but
oh, no.
I don't drink coffee, but what? I'll say this. When I work out, exercise, that's what's my day going. So that's like my coffee to get my day going. So
gotcha. Oh yeah, I agree. Get the adrenaline going, the endorphins, right? The endorphins.
It's just definitely something that gets my day going, and I just look forward to, and I'm sure you do too. I just look forward to doing what I do, my podcast, and you have so many things to look forward to. Like I said, wrestling announcing, MSG. Like I said, voice acting. I mean, dude, you just, man. I want to know right now, like, if you have any awards. If not, you should have
awards. I don't have any a professional, I guess, award. I mean, the only one that I do, I was a finalist for the Andy Kaufman Award. Yeah. So because they had these awards, Andy Kaufman actually with, you guys know him in wrestling. So Andy Kaufman, fantastic guy, and I love his the ability to create a character, and you don't know what's real and what's not, what's just fixed. You know what I mean? So I always loved him, and so they had this award. His brother Michael Kaufman started this award in his memory and in his honor, and so it was in New York City, and so I went through a few rounds. I didn't win, but still, it was awesome. I was one of the finalists for that. I mean, that's the closest I've been. The other thing, maybe I have an Edward R. Murrow Award for editing. a piece that got put together. It's a local one in Colorado, but not, what are you gonna do?
Well, the thing about it is, like I said, I really definitely call you, and I got my notes here. I call you a man of many gifts because you have them. So
Thank
take
you.
that name and make a
Blessed.
touchdown with it. So because you definitely are that guy. And if people watching the show now who they better damn know you, they should know you because you're the man. What
Thank
do
you.
you want all your fans to get out of this episode about you when you leave the ropes tonight?
Wow. All right. What do I want them to? I want them to follow me. Is what I want. I want them to follow me at Adam Hamway. No, I think the one thing is that I you got to persevere. That's the one thing that I want people to understand. It's really, really difficult to keep going and moving forward. As much as, everybody that I meet, they always say like, "Oh, you're so positive and energetic," and like, how do you keep going? Probably to your question before, how do you keep moving forward? And it's always, you just can't give up. Everybody has a time and a place, and everybody's, I guess, timeline is always very different, right? So, don't ever get bogged down by your age. Don't ever get bogged down because, somebody else is succeeding and they're younger than you or whatever the case may be. It's really, really difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, right? It's very difficult to keep that positivity in anything that you do, but you just have to not give up, persevere, and keep moving forward. So that's the thing that I've always liked that. People always seem to think, when bad things happen, that this is the end. It's the end of the world. Things are going to crumble. It's not going to be successful. What do I do now? But there is always something you can do. It's almost like when something's broken, it could always be fixed. There always is a way to fix something. And also, a lot of times I find, and this is another thing I want people to take away, is like when one door closes or one thing doesn't go the way that you want, there is always another plan. Like that plan was not meant for you. There's another plan in store for you right around the corner. It's probably better than the plan that you think that you wanted or needed or whatever. There's always something better around the corner. And also, if you get frustrated and everything, things aren't moving forward, the only way you should get upset or frustrated is if you're not doing everything in your power for success. Like if you're not making the phone calls, you're not doing the emails, you're not, putting yourself out there. You're not like shaking hands and making connections and networking. If you're not doing those things, then you have every right to be upset with yourself because you're not doing everything in your power, putting your best foot forward for success. Because there's always those things that you still need to check off. Now, at that point, if you have checked everything off, well, you can't do anything about it. You got to throw it away. But you've done everything in your power for success. So you've done everything. And then if you haven't and you think that you've done everything, think about it in another angle, in another way that, maybe I didn't, I don't know. Maybe I didn't send an email blast. Maybe I should do an email blast now. Maybe that's the answer, to get the word out there about me or something I'm passionate about for success. So persevere, keep moving forward, and make sure that you do everything in your power for success. Don't leave anything on your list unchecked. Boom. That's it, Ty.
Boom. Everybody, if you're watching the show, what Adam's saying, you got a notepad, write it down. Cause I'm actually like got my stuff on the side. I'm listening to what you're preaching, and you are absolutely right. Now you're in a huge profession. I mean, you do voice work, impressionist. I mean, ring announcing for wrestling. Do you think because of the entertainment or media area, do you think people are scared to take that next leap? Scared to ask for help? Like, do you think it's because it's like it's so competitive or just so big?
That people are afraid to ask for help because it's so
Yeah,
big, you mean?
yeah.
I'm not so sure. I think it's I if you do feel that way, that you're afraid to ask for help, I think there's something that and maybe this, I don't know if this answers your question 100%, but I'm a big believer in improvisation.
Yeah.
Maybe you need that in your life, and no matter what you do. I know people are watching this, follow wrestling, but just for anything. Maybe you're just a fan, right? And you're in the business world, and like maybe you want to make that connection, that sale, right? And you're just like, oh, I'm struggling in this area in my life. I think improvisation is what you really need to do, because improvisation is improv classes are going to open you up and make you more comfortable speaking with other people, either peers, or just other people within your business. So I think that that's very, very important, especially if you think that, it's intimidating. You got to break that out, and you got to figure out a way to do that. And to me, my answer to that question would be take an improv class, figure it out. There's so many improv classes all around the country. And also, I think that there's, online improv classes that you could take now,
Yeah.
especially when the pandemic started. There's so much stuff that's online now. So you really can find it in any crevice of the country. You can definitely find an improv class. And it's going to, it'll teach you so much. And I think that that whole nervousness and, worry about stuff will go away. And also another thing, which is more of a new thing that that someone had told me, was that you have this energy. Like you're like, if you're trying to make a phone call to somebody, or like you're saying, you're trying to make a connection and try to network with people, and maybe you're nervous about it too. That constant thinking about that, like, I should email this person. I should email this person. I should email this person. You are wasting energy, valuable space in your brain that could be used in other ways. So it's occupying space. It's paying rent. You got to get that out of there, out of your brain. Open up that space so that you can put other creative things in your mind that is now being occupied by this stupid email that you never sent, like, or the event that you were like, I shouldn't go. I'll never meet that person anyway, or whatever. No, go. You got to release that. You've done everything in your power, so you have to get that out of your mind, because it'll constantly be going in circles in your head. So I hope that answered your question. I think it did.
Nah, you broke it down as breaking it down as you possibly can. And I'm sure, and when you were coming up and really starting to get your feet wet in your profession, everything that you do, was there a time where there was something you were trying out where you were frustrated and you said, I don't know if I could do this, or you had like a mentor or somebody who really helped you and said, Adam, dude, you gotta get out of this. You got this.
I don't know. I mean, I think I go through phases, or I don't think of things in certain ways. Like ring announcing is a perfect example. Like, I was like, oh man, I saw a show actually a couple of, maybe in February of this year of 2022. I saw a show, local. It was in New Jersey. I live in New Jersey. And so I saw a show, and I'm like, I was like, you know what? That'd be really cool to do ring announcing and stuff. And so I was like, how am I going to do this? And so I talked to a friend of mine who hosts a radio show, and he was like, well, you got the voice for it, just do it. Like, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got to. And I never really thought about it, because I would see these shows and I'm like, that's cool. I just never thought, like, it's just like you have people say that I'm blessed with a voice, like to announce things, ladies and gentlemen, and they say that I can do this. And so, it's, to me, it's like a waste of an ability that you have if you're not using it to your fullest extent in any opportunity that you can. It's just a waste. And so I never really thought about it going to these events, because I don't know. I just I just enjoyed the show, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know why. Like, I never thought, I thought maybe it was impossible to do or break into it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? Let me just start emailing people and trying to make a connection. And I do have a reel together. I was like, I've got all the pieces to put this email together, And so I started doing that, and I'm still doing it right now. I mean, it's been February, right? And now what do we got? It's April, or close to April, right? We're in March. So now we're, and now I'm still emailing people. I'm trying to make connections, or I would talk to somebody else in the industry who's trying to help me make a connection. I have an email address to, or a phone number to call somebody and try to make it happen. But it just only took that one time where I was like, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool. Like, if I should, ring announce this show, just joking around with my buddy who was there at the event. And he goes, you should just do it. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, why not? I guess let's do it. So I did it. So, but sometimes it takes that way. But if you don't talk to people, like, how are you going to do it? You got to talk to people. And also, I think it's sorry, Ty's trying to chime in. I'm sorry, buddy. No, what I was going to say, if you don't talk to people, or you don't ask a question to your friends, you can't have this ego where, like, you think you're a know-it-all. You just can't. You have to talk to people and say, like, what do you see in me? Like, what is something that you think that I have that people are attracted to, that works well? And they'd kind of help you out, especially your friends. They'd be like, you know what? You really do this well. You should really focus on that and try that, and don't have an ego about it. just, take the information and digest it, think about it, and then see what you can do with that information that your friends are telling you. So that's it.
Yeah, well, definitely. Speaking of which, I mean, like I said, you really, I always say the wrestling bug. It bit you. You got bit by the wrestling bug, and now
Yeah.
you're doing your thing now. And actually, I got a cool graphic that I made up on the show here.
Well,
Like I
there's a
said,
graphic.
boom. I mean, you're in the ring, and I really want to talk
Nice.
about SWF, and I was really interested to see how did that come about, because it seems like
Yeah.
after you started with them, I mean, you've taken off, and I was like, man, he really hit the nail on the head by getting into wrestling announcing.
Yeah, so I did Immortal Championship Wrestling out in Schenectady, New Jersey a couple of weeks ago, and that was the first time I've ever done this, and I love them. They're fantastic. It's like a family up there. They're very, very nice. But it was interesting because I never knew anything else, right? So I went up there. They were extremely amazing. I would love to do it again up in Schenectady for Immortal Championship Wrestling, ICW. But I went there and I just got a great response. It was awesome. Just afterwards, or actually just doing it. And so from there, I came back home, and I think it was like Monday or something. And I have a couple of cousins, and they help out with this. I don't know if you know Grimm's Toy Show, GTS. Are you familiar with that? So Grimm and my cousins are actually the Ninja Twins. Do you know this, Ty? Do you know any of this? I don't think
it rings a bell, but
okay.
You got to educate me.
Okay, so the Ninja Twins are my cousins. They're not, they go on camera and every so often for Grimm's Toy Show, and so every once in a while. So I was talking to my cousins like on that Sunday. So the Saturday I did Immortal Championship Wrestling, and then that Sunday I talked to them, and they're like, you should just talk to Grimm, and like he might be able to, he works with SWF, which is Superstars Wrestling Federation. So I was like, he's like, just talk and reach out to them. So he reached out to them on my behalf, and got connected and everything. And so they talked to me, emailed me and stuff. And he just said, why don't you do the Saturday show? And it's like that, this coming Saturday. So I did that show, and it was cool. So that's it. It's just happening. And so then from there, and you get like one little success, right? So the Immortal Championship Wrestling was a good thing. I've never done it before. I was like, do I even like this? At this point I did. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was entertaining. I had a blast. And then that's why I caught the bug of doing the ring announcing. And so then I wanted to do more. So now I did SWF. Now I've caught the bug. So I'm sending more emails and trying to do other things as well too.
Bigger and bigger. Yeah,
exactly. You want to do bigger and bigger things. And so I'm just emailing a bunch of people. I know that there's another one, a big one in the Northeast that really wants me as a backup already, so I have that, if anything happens to their main guy, they would reach out to me, which is really, really cool. And then I'm just going to network with a couple other people to see who they might know, just as like a nice, introduction, if they can know somebody, or, because they know me very well. They might be like, hey, Adam does this, blah, blah, blah. If you have an opening or opportunity to do it, so SWF has allowed me to do any show that I'm available for. So I'm going to be doing that. And then, and then we'll see what happens, so I got my other stuff as well too. I don't know if I could make every single show or every event for everybody, but heck, I'm having a good time, and let's see how far this can go. We don't know yet. It's too early.
Like you said that you're making things happen, because I've learned that you only get one life, and tomorrow was never guaranteed.
That's very true.
And do your thing. I definitely want to say that, of course, you're not watching this episode of Off the Top Rope tonight. You definitely should, because Adam Hamway is in the house, because this guy is the guy that you definitely, if you want to break into wrestling announcing, whatever, he's the guy. So if you want to ask him a question, I got the comment box up in the corner there.
Ask away. Let's do it.
Ask a question, ask him away. So now, of course, when you go into something, I mean, you get into basketball, different footballs, trying to learn the different sports. Now, when you got into wrestling announcing, what was something that you had to like tweak or learn more about? I mean,
Yeah, I think every place does things a little different, right? That's what I learned. So I'm a huge believer in prepping. Like I said before, you have to put your best foot forward, right? Do everything in your power for success. So, you want to get all the information that you can from these wrestlers beforehand that you're going to, announce, from the ring. And so you just want to make sure that you're best prepared for that. So to me, that's the number one thing you need to do. So you got to go in there with, a script, and you have to figure out what it is. But also, before you even go there, you got to talk to the promoter and ask, like, is this the phrasing that you want? Because sometimes people, when you're doing like a championship contest, they might want things phrased a different way, or they want the acronyms for their promotion, read completely, or do they want just SWF? Do they want it to say Superstars Wrestling Federation? Like, I don't know what do they want, how do they want it read? And so you have to figure that out. I like to do that in advance. So that's like one less thing that I have to worry about when I'm there. Obviously, the one thing that even if you know a wrestler, and if you know what their nickname is, in addition to their name, maybe you know their weight from a previous event, you still got to check in with them. So because they might want to change that, or like, oh man, that's the old place I lived at. I don't want to do that. So you have to make sure that you always, check in with them. But the number one thing that you learn from the different places is how they do things a little bit different. Like I went to, like, I think it's okay to say this, but like SWF, I was like, I had the idea to do an NWA style like introduction for the championship. Yeah. So I said, why don't we just do the normal, this contest is scheduled for one fall. If it's for the SWF, heavyweight championship, whatever contest. And then you wait till they come into the ring. And then you say, introducing to my left, Dirty Dango, whatever. So like, you do it that way, and then to my right, and then you just do it, and that's it. But they want them in the ring, so they're like, oh, that's cool. Let's do it that way, because they thought it was interesting and different because they're not used to that. So that's what I did. So I just brought it to their attention. Do you want it done that way? They're like, oh, that's cool. Let's try it. So they seem to enjoy that. But yeah, that's why you got to ask the questions, because you don't want to do something and they're just like, oh man, I wish we did it this way, or typically we do it this way. We don't typically do that. You don't want to make a mistake. So got to put your best foot forward and ask these places, how they want things introduced, or what is the other expectations, previous to an event, the things that they want to promote. Maybe they want to promote some, autograph signing beforehand. Are you there for that? What do they want said? It's different things that you want to just ask and figure out. But it's cool to see how, at least these two, Immortal Championship Wrestling and SWF, there are little differences here and there, which is kind of cool to see.
Now, we all see how, like we're both first and foremost wrestling fans, and you see how wrestling, so many promotions today: WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor is coming back, all the really cool indie promotions that you are working for as well. If you had to look at wrestling today, social media is involved too. We all know everybody has a Twitter page, but how would you describe, just in one word, like wrestling today, and just one word, how, if you look at wrestling today?
One word, back, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I would say back, because it's back. I can't use it, but because you said one word, but it's back. It's to me, like, I was a big fan in the late 80s, early 90s, or all of the 90s, to be honest. And then a little bit of the early thousands. And then, like, I fell off for a little while, full disclosure. And then I just wasn't interested in it because I had other aspirations, things that were going on in my life, that kind of occupied space, so. And then, when the pandemic hit and, you didn't have other sports or stuff that you were watching, you're just like, what's going on in wrestling? And then AEW was back, and then you got Impact, and then Ring of Honor was doing different things. It also helps that my neighbor was into it as well. And he's like trying to, telling me different things that are happening. And so, and then I'm friends with, a radio host. And so, he's telling me stuff that's happening. Like, you just, it's like, I know it sounds so stupid to say this because it's like a thing that everybody always says. It's like when you're, in a barbershop, you're hanging out in a barbershop, you're going to get a haircut if you're there all the time, So eventually you're going to get a hair. So like, people are talking to me. I'm like, all right, what's it all about? What's happening? So then you watch it and you're just, and you're able to look at two different promotions, or if you're looking at AEW and WWE, for example, and you're looking at them and you're just like, you see what you like, what you don't like, you can't like everything, but certain things are intriguing or more so than others. And then, they're doing one thing. Like, I just find it fascinating. Everybody doing things just slightly, a little different here and there, or it's just exciting. And then you also have, the independent shows are coming back too, and they seem to be very, very popular again because people are chomping at the bit to get out because of the pandemic. And also, you've got all these other companies that are kind of like really getting a huge following, that are independent, but they're like a few ticks under some of the bigger ones. So it's just cool. It's back. It's like
that.
And
it's like that boom period. It's like it's wrestling that re-energized boom period.
Yeah, and also, like, I'm just surprised with just the number of independent wrestling promotions that are out there too. Like, it's just because I'm not used to that. Growing up, I didn't know that there was like independent wrestling companies. I know that when a few years ago, actually, I know that I got back during the pandemic, but there was a few years prior to that. Like, I would go to a local show down in South Jersey every month. I would go there, and I just enjoyed it because it's just a fun show. But yeah, I just growing up, you never knew that. I never really went to them. I always went to just WWF shows, or if WCW was in the area as well too. But yeah, it's just fun now. It's cool, and I just like it. I don't know.
It seems like too another person that has made wrestling fun again because he created it. Seems like Tony Khan. I will put him as the reason wrestling's fun again. So the national stage, him bringing AEW to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I personally, I went to AEW. They were in Atlantic City, February for Dynamite and Rampage at Boardwalk Hall, and I loved it. Never been to AEW before. I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah, I went to one at the Prudential Center in 2021. I think it was September or so, and I had a blast. It was a great show. And I also went to but like I said, the thing that I think it's making them all better is the AEW coming to the scene and creating this competition that really wasn't there for a very long time for WWE. Like, they didn't have like a big competitor, and so it's really cool to see that, because now it's like they're like, really want to get the attention of every fan. They're like really trying their hardest to do this. So it's cool on both ends, Yeah. So it's just really cool because now, I mean, like everything, like every sport, you want the competition, right? So that's what you're watching for. And within the sport, it's just cool. I think it's awesome to have the competition.
Now you really, I mean, you don't have to. It's kind of like you don't really have to answer this, but I mean, if you want to give us a hint, by all means, you can. So we're already in the mix of 2022. What are some promotions that you kind of got your eye on? Like, I may want to call them or reach out. What are some promotions that you think to do ring announcing?
Like ring announcing? Oh, okay. So no, I would love to do Capital Championship Wrestling, which is CCW. I'm trying to see if I could do something for them. That would be really cool. I also want to see, and excuse me, like GCW, Game Changer Wrestling sounds awesome. Like, I really would love to get in the ring there because I think what they're doing is pretty cool. And then I know Ring of Honor is just coming back, and I know that they have a ring announcer, but I don't know. So I would love to see if there's somebody that I can reach out to. As you're like climbing up. Who knows?
Well, my brother, I guess you're getting there. You're like at the high ceiling, but your ceiling is getting like the ceiling is higher and higher and higher. But that's in a good way. You just keep reaching new heights, man. And I see that.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like, not that I'm whatever. It's not like I'm better than the independent ones or anything like that. But like you don't like we were saying earlier, you don't know until you send an email. Like, you don't know. Like, maybe they see like my reel and they're just like, yeah, sure, come on in. What? Like, I was surprised with one of the bigger ones. I won't name them, but like one of the bigger ones was like, oh yeah, we'll keep you as a backup. I was like, what? Like, it's just crazy. And so, that's cool. So I just fire off the emails, see what happens. And then if I can't find somebody who knows somebody, you can send an email that way and see what happens as well too. Because you want to grab their attention. A lot of these places.
Point too. It takes to maybe somebody may say, well, Adam, here's a backup role, but that can lead to bigger things. Like you said, it doesn't hurt getting like a backup spot because you never know, like something happens, next person up, boom, that can lead to really big things.
Absolutely. If they need somebody in a pinch, God forbid something happened. Absolutely. Yeah.
So now we talked about it when we came on the show. You asked if Ty any questions I should be aware about. So this is the time of the show. I got to stump you, so I'm gonna pull it up.
Damn, Ty. That's good.
So the question is that we know you're very familiar with Madison Square Garden. So
okay,
ready for the question?
I think I'm losing your connection. I think.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, let's go.
So the question is that you are commentating a wrestling match at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Now the promotion is a promotion that's yours. You created it. So the question is, what would the promotion be called? Oh. Who would your commentating partner be? And who would be in the main event for your event?
Wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. JR is my commentator. I mean, come on.
That's a slap and knocker.
Jim Ross. Jim Ross. So he and I would be commentating. What would I call it? Probably top of my head, like improv, Hamway Championship Wrestling, HCW, you know. And then who would be in the match? Okay, if anybody, alive or dead?
It could be live or dead. You're putting all your money, all your hard work into this match.
So much money, I brought them back to life. All right. Yeah. All right. We got Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Ravishing Rick Rude. It's just the first person that came to my head. And then, gosh, who else? I think, Ravishing Rick Rude and MJF.
That would be, I like that. Would this be a heel versus heel match? Because they're very good at being heels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not really done a lot. Oh, yeah. I like that.
No, I would love to see the two of them, and it'd be a little battle of them. Yeah. Talking trash to each other. It'd be really fun. And to see who gets like who gets a bigger pop? Like, who do they want? Who do they want to win? Who does the audience want to win? Like, I don't know.
Well, you got two guys who are a master of their craft. Rick Rude, the body. MJF. Anytime MJF comes out on the microphone, I gotta listen to him. I just love him. But I'll say this: that was a damn good match, man. Wrestling booking, man. You better. I don't know. That was a good answer.
I don't know. Just what came to mind. It'd be fun. I think it would be an interesting match to see.
And I'm gonna give you definitely like a big, a pound, a big thumbs up, because you came up with that answer just like that. So yeah, you are the man of many gifts. So as we roll ahead, and we end up in wrapping this episode of Off the Top Rope, I want to know, and all your fans want to know worldwide, what's up next for you with your busy schedule?
Worldwide. I started doing these dad hacks on I know it sounds whatever, but no, I started doing these dad hacks because I'm handy. I work on cars and stuff like that, and people my neighbors call me to do handiwork all the time if something breaks or whatever. And so I started doing these dad hacks on Instagram, and they become pretty I get a decent amount of people like them and watch them, and it works better than anything else that I've ever done. So that's what gets me to continue to do them, is because I get a good response. Like I was telling you before, you get a good response, go with it. And I enjoy it. And it doesn't take long to do. It's just carving out a little bit of time. Like I try to do them once a week, but yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And it seems to be working, but it's hard because, when you're on social media, it's like, what's your brand? And I'm like, all right, well, I do this. I don't know. I'm all over the place. As you know, Ty, I'm I do a bunch of different things. So I don't know what the brand is. I guess the brand is all over the place. You don't know what to expect. So who knows?
All over the place, Adam. So you saw all over the place.
That's right. All over the place. Sounds like kind of confused, what's he doesn't know what he's doing, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to definitely upcoming, seeing you in the ring doing more announcing.
Yeah. Come out.
That's the one thing I definitely want to know about. Any dates we should know about coming up for your ring announcing?
I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing April 23rd in Ocean County for SWF yet. I'm held. I have another announcing gig that day that's supposed to let me know in a couple of days, but regardless, it's going to be a great show. So you should definitely check that out. If you're on the East Coast, SWF, you could check them on SWF Live Pro Wrestling on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Excuse me. Got a cough. I'm coughing up a lung. And check them out. And that would be April 23rd. That's what I said. Did I say August? Was I saying August?
I think you said August.
I said August. It's April. August is way off. I'm sorry. April 23rd is the next one. I thought I said that. The cough kind of put me back in line. April 23rd is the date.
Well, you said it out throughout this whole broadcast. You want to keep punching away and doing your ring announcing. Keep it up, man. You're doing phenomenal things. And I got to ask you the biggest question of all here on Off the Top Rope. From 1 to 10, would you ever come back on the show again?
And the 10 is yes?
Yeah.
It would be a 10. I would come back. Ty, this was fantastic. I had a great time.
I really appreciate it, man. And I got to say, everybody.
No, I was going to say, I have a lot of questions for you. So maybe next time we reverse the roles and I start asking you questions. No, you don't want to do that?
I'll be down with that.
You're down with that? All right. Well, we can talk about it later.
I'll definitely be down with it.
All right. I want to learn about you. It's
well, definitely the biggest thing of all, first and foremost, why we're all here, huge wrestling fan. But for you, I'll get you more into detail how I started watching it, and so, and I'll definitely do that because I try to give the fans what they want. So,
all right, Ty.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give this guy a round of applause. If you're at home, you should be doing it too. The one, the only, Adam Hamway was live on the ropes tonight. Man, I want to thank you very, very much, my brother, and keep doing what you're doing. And don't look back, look forward.
All right, that's right. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
This is your boy Ty Asbury, my live guest here on Off the Top Rope Monday night. The one, the only. I call him a man with many gifts, true gifts. He's the man, and always gonna be the man. He's keep being the man. Adam Hamway was my guest. Everybody have a great night. As I always say, love yourself, love others. We are out of here. Peace out.